What you was thinking when Tank did that when he took the knee? What you was thinking when he took the knee?
I can't speak on it.
Can't speak on that?
Can't speak on it.
He did some bullshit though?
I can't speak on it.
You have no personal opinion, nothing?
Can't.
No, you gotta calm down. Listen to me.
Hey, come on now. He's trying to get it. Hey, come on now.
After audio clips leaked of the talk between Davis and his corner, the boxing world knew trouble was brewing. If that wasn't enough, another recording surfaced this time of Gervonta Davis speaking with the referees. This was the final push. That led to a major fallout. It even became the key reason behind Lamont Roach's official protest.
He said, fight out of the clinch. Yeah. That's what we were gonna do. He came in the back and was like, I'm gonna let you fight out, especially if one arm is loose or whatever the case may be, as long as you...
Unfortunately, the new state athletic commission brushed off his efforts and refused to acknowledge the recordings. In the end, their response only stirred more debate in the boxing community, leading to a wave of criticism.
Simple. So I was like, all right, the ref started counting. While I'm looking at him, I'm like, the ref started counting. But I see him get up and go to the corner.
The New York State Athletic Commission is still examining referee Steve Willis's questionable handling of Lamont Roach Jr.'s knockdown of Davis last Saturday. A heated discussion on Pro Box TV addressed the issue on Wednesday. If they make the right call, Lamont Roach wins the fight, said veteran boxing writer Dan Raphael, who runs Fight Freaks Unite. That poor officiating cost Roach a championship and robbed him of being the first to hand America's top fighter a loss. Many things went wrong, and all of them were against Roach. On his podcast, host Teddy Atlas gave his honest opinion about the referee's performance when asked about the 9th round incident.
I'm sorry. I'm terrible. I am, but I'm ashamed of myself. I am so cynical, but this sport has made me cynical. I'm sorry. I don't see anyone's gonna...
He suggested that the referee wasn't up to standard and might have been influenced, saying he wouldn't have done the same for Roach. Bad referees, what we need are better trained officials, more skilled and educated ones. I won't outright say dishonest, because I don't know if honesty was the issue. But we certainly need referees who can make the right decisions, be confident in their calls, and stand by them. I don't think that referee would have given Roach the same leeway he gave Tank Davis. Why? Because Tank is a superstar.
It's going to reprimand this referee. What are they going to do? I mean, it happens too often. It's happened too often. I don't know. We need a national commission. That's the only thing I could think of, but we're not.
He continued, I believe he set a record for the largest audience ever at Barclays Center. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they hit a new attendance milestone. Maybe even a record-breaking ticket sales total. That venue has hosted concerts, fights, and basketball games, yet Tank drew huge numbers. He's a fan favorite, attracts massive crowds, and consistently delivers big pay-per-view sales. I don't know the figures for this fight, but he's one of those fighters who always pulls in solid numbers. That's the influence he carries.
Right now, but the last thing I want to say to put a bow on this one, Bud, we talked about the controversial part, but I want to finish.
When a referee allows a fighter to take a knee which isn't legal in boxing, and doesn't count it as a 10-8 round when it should have been, that's a huge problem, he said. Tank took a jab right before that. I'm not trying to go after him. People already say I defend him too much, and he is great, a highly skilled, well-rounded fighter with powerful punches, sharp defense, and quick hands. He sets up traps, works the body, and counters beautifully, but in this case, he was in the wrong. He got away with it because the system let him. The problem isn't the fighters, it's the officials running the sport. We keep seeing these issues, and they shouldn't keep happening. This needs to end.
The great part. That was high-level boxing. That was two guys at the highest level showing their skills.
Teddy Atlas also added, a referee can't just ignore something that isn't in the rule book. Tank gets hit with a jab, then a second or two later, he takes a knee. That's a knockdown, plain and simple. This isn't football. There are no timeouts here. Like you said last night, if this were football, it would have been a touchback. Taking a knee in boxing, that's not a rule. Even Terrence Crawford, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, reacted in shock. He said, I didn't know that was a rule. I must have missed that one. Maybe he was busy training when they invented that rule, except they didn't. This isn't NASCAR. You can't just pull into the pit stop because your tires need changing. Tank dropped to a knee, and Roach, credit to him, respected the rules instead of attacking. but the rule says protect yourself at all times. So he had every right to.
Miss and you counter, and then all of a sudden you're in front of him. Boop! You're the invisible man. You're on the. That's sweet science too. Yes, and it's easier to see. It grabs your attention. Oh wow! Look at that guy. He's on the outside.
I've seen fighters punch opponents who turn away or walk off, and unless the bell rings or the referee steps in, the punches count. Roach had every right to keep going. He was a sportsman, so he backed off. But if he had thrown a left hook while Tank was turning, it wouldn't have been pretty, but it would have been legal. The real mistake, Tank and the ref allowed him to take a knee, walk to his corner, and get something wiped from his eye before continuing. If the ref had called it correctly, scoring it a 10-8 round, Roach wouldn't have gotten a draw. He'd be the champion. And a lot of people who bet on Roach at plus 900 odds would be celebrating right now.
The furnace with all the flames and everything going, and you don't get burnt up. You don't get torched. You don't get scorched. That is.
He wrapped up his thoughts by saying he stood up to the bully. Simple as that. It's like watching a schoolyard bully push everyone around until one day, someone fights back. Suddenly, the bully isn't so tough anymore. My cousin had a saying that fits perfectly when someone who relies on intimidation suddenly meets someone who won't be intimidated. The roles flip. That's exactly what happened here. But not many people will tell you that.
You know something funny? When we was talking in like the 12th round, I think the 12th or 11th, we was talking shit, right? But he like, you ain't gonna win.
Roach, who was once an amateur rival of Davis, should have been the main headline after giving Tank, who entered as a heavy -1, 600 favorite, the first blemish of his career. But instead, the focus shifted to the New York State Athletic Commission, which failed to be transparent in the aftermath. On Monday, they claimed a technical issue prevented them from reviewing the instant replay in time. By refusing to call Tank's voluntary knee in the 9th round what it truly was, a knockdown, the commission cost Roach a crucial 10-8 round that alone could have swung the fight in his favor, making him the champion and securing him millions in a potential rematch.
Why not? What you talking about? He like, now ain't gonna give it to you. I was like, oh, is that right? So, you know, that's how boxing works.
In discussions with boxing regulators nationwide, many agree that New York Commission Chief Matthew Daglio faces a tough situation. He has to address the mistake that saw Willis begin an 8-count for Davis, only to stop it moments later. After taking multiple punches from Roach, Davis dropped to a knee and walked to his corner, where his trainer Calvin Ford met him and wiped his face. Davis later claimed that hair chemicals had irritated his eye, and he simply needed relief. Some argue that Daglio should penalize Davis and declare Roach the new WBA lightweight champion. Others feel that wouldn't be fair, since Davis, a known knockout artist, may have fought differently in the last 3 rounds if he had known he was officially down on the scorecards.
In round number 9, Gervonta Davis takes a knee, landed a right hand, then 2 jabs afterward. What were you thinking when this happened? Were you surprised as everybody else? What was on your mind?
Man, I was surprised, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I thought it was a 10.
A panel of experts, including former California referee Jack Rice, trainer Stephen Bredman Edwards, and boxing analyst Chris Algieri and Paulie Malignaggi, agreed that Roach's knee-down moment fit the definition of a knockdown. Pro Box TV founder Gary Jonas, who advises Roach, filed an official appeal asking the New York Commission to declare Roach the winner. The appeal cited multiple moments where Willis should have deducted points from Davis: the knockdown turning, his back on Roach, walking to his corner, and allowing his trainer to intervene mid-round. Edwards summed it up best: mistakes happen, but they always seem to favor the aside. Steve Willis has had a great career, but in this moment, he froze.
Started counting. While I'm looking at him, I'm like, the rest started counting. But I see him get up and go to the corner. So now I'm just like, all right, now I'm confused. I don't know what's going on.
Did you think?
Referee Jack Rice explained that officials have the power to make decisions. As the sole authority in the ring, you can't just call your own timeout, Malignaggi replied. Rafael also reported that there was a chance to review the replay of the knockdown, but it never happened. That led Algieri and Malignaggi to agree on the best response: schedule an immediate rematch at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
I think he was starting to fight, but then again, like, when I look at him in the corner, I'm like, what is going on? Like, I don't know. I don't know now. I just don't know what's going on, besides the fact that
the New York State Athletic Commission told several media outlets that it is still looking into the issue. However, the most puzzling part of the story that still needs attention is this: What exactly was going on with Davis? While it was surprising to see the 30-year-old from Baltimore struggle against a massive underdog after years of dominance, that wasn't the biggest shock. Roach appeared larger after moving up to lightweight and used his confidence and experience from growing up in the same boxing circles as Davis to put on the best performance of his career.
It's sad to say, that's how boxing works. I'm not like totally upset. I figured with a superstar.
The biggest concerns revolved around Davis's mindset and the odd behavior he showed before, during, and after the fight. It raised the question, was this just an off night for one of boxing's top fighters? Or has he lost the hunger and fierce mentality that made him a superstar? Star boxers being late to media events isn't new, especially for Davis, who was nearly 2 hours late for his 2023 press conference with Ryan Garcia. But this time, he took it to another level, showing up nearly 5 hours late to his first event with Roach in New York, then arriving 90 minutes late to Friday's weigh-in. Davis was his usual relaxed self throughout fight week, but his actions in the ring raised concerns. Twice, he stopped focusing on Roach to argue with Willis, only to get hit with clean punches in return.
You won't get too much on paper, but shit, I damn sure thought I had it. Especially when they announced the score for him, I was like, oh, they gonna give me a.
Prime video cameras also caught Davis shouting over his trainer Calvin Ford between rounds, yelling, "Listen to me." Then came the uncalled knockdown in round 9. After Roach landed several jabs, Davis blinked aggressively and suddenly turned his back before taking a knee. He quickly got up and ran to his corner, where Ford wiped his eyes with a towel, something that could have led to a disqualification. Under the rules, Willis started counting but stopped at 3, giving Davis a warning instead of letting the count continue.
I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, oh, shit, here it goes. But as soon as I heard that 114, I was just like, damn, all right, it's over with it.
Davis's explanation in the post-fight interview was unusual, and his attitude seemed too casual for someone who nearly lost his title and undefeated record. As the crowd booed him, his response sounded either embarrassed or uninterested. "I just got my hair done 2 days ago, and she put grease in it, so when I was sweating, it got in my eyes and burned," Davis said. "Damn, why are y'all booing? I'm telling the truth. These are real facts. Come on, man, look at my hair. But it's all good, you know how it is. They love you, then they hate you, and before you know it, they love you again."
So, yeah, man, it's just crazy. I ain't gonna lie. It's okay. We gonna run it back. It's okay.
Davis, who has a mandatory rematch clause in his contract, shared his interest in running it back on social media Monday at the post-fight press conference. He seemed more humble when discussing his performance, but his comments showed he didn't fully grasp the rules. "Nobody likes a draw from a knockout artist, but it's cool," Davis said. "If we fight again, I think I can do more. I should have done more. I lost track of the rounds. That's why we need ring girls. I didn't even know what round it was. Facts."
No.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on? And
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught.
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught. While my eyes were burning. You can get knocked out like that. So I took the knee, Davis explained. But I didn't know you could get disqualified for getting help in the middle of the round. When Willis started counting, I was like, what the hell? But it's cool. During an interview with Colin McGann on IFL TV, Golden Boy Promotions pointed to referee Steve Willis, saying he allowed Davis to break the rules. After taking a hit from Roach near his eye, Davis turned away and dropped to a knee, which should have been ruled a knockdown and cost him a point. That round should have gone to Roach.
The decision, or I think the draw was meant to be. So I like the draw.
Do you like the draw? Do you like the knee though? Was that a good call on the ref?
No, if you take a knee, man, we're not.
You know who the commission is, you know who the referee is, De La Hoya said. I was surprised the referee allowed that to happen. He's a professional referee with experience. The 52-year-old former boxer pointed out that Steve Willis has worked fights for Golden Boy Promotions before, so his performance in this match was unexpected. However, what really caught his attention was Lamont Roach's outstanding performance. Roach gave Davis trouble. Davis is a fantastic fighter. But Roach was on his game. It was a great fight, De La Hoya said.
If you take a knee in the 90s or in 2000, you're taking a point off. That's the bottom line. You're taking the point off. I don't know what happened with the referee. Maybe he was a little starstruck. Maybe he was a little...
Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn gave his thoughts on the New York State Athletic Commission's review of the controversial fight between Davis and Roach. Hearn doesn't believe the commission will change the fight's result, which ended in a majority draw, but he does expect a rematch to happen. Davis and Roach fought to a draw at the Barclays Center last Saturday, but the 9th-round incident when Davis took a voluntary knee without it being ruled a knockdown has led to an official review.
Fight. One thing that's kind of baffling is that it wasn't a knockdown. I mean, look, he wasn't hurt. There's no doubt about that. But if you take a knee in the fight and you touch down, whilst punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown. I've heard some people...
Dan Raphael of Fight Freaks Unite reported that Roach's lawyer has appealed to have the result changed to a win for Roach, either by decision, knockout, or disqualification. Hearn acknowledged the controversy, but doesn't think the commission will overturn the result. Speaking of fight hype on Tuesday, Hearn said, "No, I don't think they will. Can the state call for an immediate rematch? I don't think so. It's really up to the governing body. The WBA oversees the lightweight title, and while the commission can review the fight, they can't force a rematch. But I expect one to happen anyway."
Qualified, he went back to the corner. I don't buy that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that's a warning, but it's a bit of a bizarre situation for me. Like, there was a lot of people in boxing that were saying that this is a really tough fight.
Everything I'm hearing says the rematch is already set, Hearn revealed. I think it's basically done. He also shared his opinion on the 9th-round controversy, arguing that Davis's knee should have been counted as a knockdown. If you take a knee in the middle of a fight while punches are coming at you, it's a knockdown, simple as that, Hearn said. Some people say he should have been disqualified because he went to his corner. I don't buy that. I think it's a warning. But it was definitely a strange situation.
Serious fight. I said it might not be the biggest profile fight, but it's actually quite a tough fight. And Shakur said to me, like, even the day before, I'm telling you, he's going to have big trouble tomorrow night. And I just feel like hopefully this could be the little something that gives Gervonta a little wake.
The New York State Athletic Commission is still reviewing the fight, and no final decision has been announced yet. WBA lightweight champion Gervonta "Tank" Davis, once considered one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, now faces questions about his status. One judge believed Davis did enough to win, but 2 others disagreed, resulting in a majority draw. The 9th round made the difference, as it featured one of the fight's strangest and most defining moments. After taking several sharp punches from Roach, the 29-year-old Washington, D.C. fighter, Davis suddenly and briefly dropped to a knee. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more updates on the biggest moments, events, and stories in boxing. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications to stay informed. Until next time, peace out.